Hey there, guys. You're listening to Yakkin with Nick, and I am your host. Hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season. My family had a wonderful Christmas, and yeah, I don't know. What can I say? It's a fun holiday. I'm not Christian, and I don't really believe in most of the I guess, well, mythology. Yeah, let's call it that, around the religion, or around the holiday of Christmas. I just don't believe in the Christ, whatever. I don't believe in I don't have Jesus isn't the reason for me celebrating Christmas. That's what I'm saying. But I do enjoy that holiday because to me, it's just not about it, right? Like I get it's called Christ Mass, which means Christ's birth, right? But even that, like, the funny thing about Christmas is, like, it has so many pagan traditions in it. Like, you think that cutting down a fir tree is a Jewish tradition? No. Jews don't do that. Pagans do. Pagans cut down trees and worship trees because they're the only ones crazy enough to do that. Just kidding, but you know what I mean? I can make fun of pagans. I don't care. If I'm making fun of Christianity, I'll make fun of pagans too. Yeah, like in Santa Claus, like Saint Nick, I get, yeah, maybe that's where it comes from, but this isn't, it has nothing to do with Jesus. So I don't know. Most of the things that are apparent to me about Christmas aren't about Jesus, so I don't really care about it in general. But the point I'm trying to get to is I do enjoy Christmas because I just enjoy holidays because they're things that families do together. And recently, I've been really interested in community and the family as a unit, and how that's worked in history and how it's working now in our own culture. Because we started out as tribal people, right? Where it was just a group of everybody was probably related in a herd, right? And I'm just thinking of animals. In the pack of humans, right? It would be your tribe. You guys would be together and you'd work together to hunt down and gather food. And then eventually, as we got into agriculture, that changed to being maybe more of an organized system. And maybe somebody became in charge. Who knows? Eventually, that's what happened, right? Whoever, I don't know how exactly that somebody else can tell you the history. That's done more research more recently than I have. But so that changed us a little bit. So we're not really going out and getting stuff, but we're working on the farm. We're still working together to provide food for each other. And then as we're able to provide more food, we can do other things. So the division of labor is increased because we have more people and we can feed them more easily. And so the family and the tribal dynamic changes, and this is kind of where we see governments and coercive enterprise, and the people who are like, hey, I'm in charge because I have the swords, right? That's what coercive enterprise is. And then as time goes on, the culture develops. These religions pop up, and we become less of a tribe, and we put our identity with. Eventually it became like kingdoms, I think, and the king and the royalty. I don't know exactly how peasants felt about that. But this is just I'm just kind of making shit as I go. Like I know the general history of the world, right? And I'm just going through this kind of, I don't really know how the family unit changed, but I'm just kind of telling you how I think it has. If that makes sense. I'm just pulling stuff out of my ass. But what I'm saying, yeah. So as we, as culture changes, become more about God, it becomes more about the king, and then it changes there again, and it's different in different places too. I guess I'm thinking of Western culture specifically, I suppose. But as governments develop, those become the most powerful unit. The tribe is not the most powerful unit. Because the government has a private military, has their own military that they're funding because it's just a more efficient system, I guess. And so it becomes less about the tribe and maybe less about the family, though that's definitely probably still important because people cared about paternity and I don't know. There's a reason for that family there to be there still, I think. Because I think, well, I'm mixing myself up. Let's ignore that I even said that and keep going. So, as we get more complex in this, like the Renaissance happens, there's a lot of thought that comes out, and thoughts about how these things should work. And some of them are kind of kooky because it's the first time they started thought about, rational thought. And then we just kind of assume that every human being is rational. It doesn't really make sense. But we kind of develop that, and then as we, especially in the West, I guess this really only applies to the West because all I know, as the Industrial Revolution happened, and as these ideas about of enlightenment and kind of the individualism came about, I think that the reliance on government changed a little bit, and not entirely, but those ideas of American individualism, I think, are still important. And I think in some way that kind of took away from the. I think America is, at least, because I think Italy and the Europeans have a better sense of family than we do. But if you look at America, I guess it really starts before even the Industrial Revolution. It starts as this country was founded in colonialism. Because the people who went to the New World, this is a crazy journey. It's like, oh, hey, we just found a new continent, and you can go over there and live there. Nobody who wasn't nobody doing super well was like, yeah, I'm gonna be the first to go to America, right? Most of the people that went, like, there's probably the people who are like, oh, I'm gonna make $1 million because they were smart, but how many people were like that? Most of the people that came over were that was their best option. And if your best option is to spend 3 months in a shitty ship to get to a new world that you might not even know if it exists, that's pretty crazy. So these people are leaving their family, right? The people that come to America have left their families. So obviously, they don't have those familial ties to help them out. So you don't really build that family to help you survive because you don't have it anymore. You've been detached from it. So I think this is part of the reason why we don't have such of a strong sense of family in the United States. And I think as time goes on, as the Industrial Revolution happened, it just made it easier to not work as a community because we start earning our individual wages, and then we decide, the idea of the American dream of the nuclear family unit comes about, right? Where it doesn't, like, nobody says the American dream is to, like, live with your family and make sure that they are all right because they took care of you. I don't know. Nobody has that idea of, like, I need to take care of my grandparents because they took care of me, or my parents because they took care of me. Maybe that's not true. I shouldn't say nobody. I'm saying, like, these very, like, mouse pocketing, right? Sorry. But I think all of these things have contributed to a less strong family unit. Like the family isn't as intertwined. I think most families are, like, we all love each other, right? I think that's just a natural thing to be connected, to your family, because that's your blood, that's your DNA. Those are the people who are like you the most. They came from a similar background most of the time, and we all, all of them came from the same genetic background, pretty much. Like, everybody has slightly different influences. Like, my cousins have their father, right? My uncle. But we have the same. We have at least one set of the same grandparents, and that means something. And I think I just think it's powerful, and I think that still resonates in our culture. I think people still care about their family, but it isn't, like, we just aren't as attached to them. And in some ways, that's really good because the family unit can be very oppressive. I've experienced not being able to get what I wanted out of life. I was not treated as a rational actor by my parents for a long time because, well, maybe I wasn't, but because I wanted to drop out of school. Eventually, they let me, right? I convinced them that I was smart, and it was a good idea. But You know what I mean? I say that when I don't know what I mean. Forgot what. It's a problem. I go down these tangents and then it's just lost behind me, but I usually pick it up. So the family unit just isn't as strong as it used to be, as it is I think in Europe, and the community aspect is different because we have all these individual projects. We don't have to hang out with family for entertainment or hang out with people because we have these things on our phone. We don't really have to hang out with people because we can text them. So we can sit at home and watch Netflix and be comfortable while still being in contact with all of our friends and family. But it's not real contact. It doesn't, like, at least in my experience, that kind of interaction is not as valuable as interacting face to face. I enjoy that a lot more, and I found it to be a lot more valuable. And also, one thing I've noticed is I've tried to start a business and become a very hard individual. I wanted to be that, that Henry David Thoreau guy going out in the woods, living in a van down by the river. I thought that would be fun. I thought that would be cool, and I thought that was the best thing I could do, because I didn't really think that I could work with other people, because it's just too hard to work with other people. That was what I thought, and that was just kind of what I came from my experiences as an anarchist. I didn't find very many people interested in the ideas that I was interested in, and part of that was that I was shutting myself off to an echo chamber. Part of that was that I was not really looking for that community. Like, I wasn't looking for other people, because I was like, well, I've got it. I've got what I need, because I'm all I need, right? So, I don't know. I had somewhat of a cynicism, I suppose, towards the future of this culture. And I thought, well, I don't know how much I can do, and I can try my best, but all I can do is live as an example of an individual who said, hey, this is how I want to live, and I'm going to make it that way. But then I did mushrooms, and I realized I wanted so much more. That's what it was. I thought, well, shoot, I'm just going to live down by the river for a while, and that's fine. Like, I'm going to be kind of interact with these people, and I'm not going to make a lot of money. I'm going to have somewhat of a customer base, but most of what I'm going to do is just be a wild man, and because I still want to do that. But now I'm like, no, other people need to be involved in it. It can't just be me, because it's like, cool, it's great. Nick Hazelton gets appreciation. It's part of why I do this show. I talk about it a lot. I do enjoy attention, but even though as much as I talk about it, that's not the main reason why I want to do these things. I want to do these things because I think that there's stuff that just doesn't work that well in the systems that we have in our culture and the environment in our world that I think could change. And I think I have some decent solutions. So I think that, well, shoot, here we go. I need to spread this around, because I care about other people, and I do, I absolutely have a genuine care for the things around me. And I think that is kind of an innate thing that a lot of us don't get to see if we aren't really paying attention to, our relationships with our family and even the environment, right? Because there's a strong relationship, right? You came from your parents. They created you. What stronger of a relationship do you need? Those people are the most important people in your life because they created your life, right? And yeah, they can be assholes. Like, I've talked to, Philip Frey and I talked about this, how sometimes you don't get along with your family, and sometimes you feel like you need to leave. What did he find out? That, he didn't really think that was a fantastic idea. There's different strategies, right? Because those people are really valuable, and you don't want to shut off relationships. You want to keep them alive, right? That's kind of the point of that show. But my point for this show is that it really is important to have a group of people that has your back, man. Like, it's a bummer when you get backstabbed by people who you really care about. And, personally, I found that you can't trust most people. Like, if you're trying to keep secrets, no way. Like, you can count on most people to be decent, I think. I don't know. There's plenty of people who are like, this person would help me out in a situation, but if I'm going to tell you a secret, everybody's going to find out, right? So maybe that's a way of looking at trust that isn't that way. That's not a best example, you know what I mean? That's just one aspect of trust. But you definitely don't have that with most people. And then that is a fear, but I think part of it is that we don't form as tight of bonds as a culture in America. This is totally theorizing right out of my, right out of the trap, dude. That doesn't make it. There's no scientific basis to this, but I think that because we do a lot of moving, there's a lot of people that move. You change schools, you change jobs all the time, and I think I was talking about this with somebody else. This is, this isn't my ideas. I think I've grabbed these from other people, just so you know. Maybe there is science basing this, but what I'm saying is, I don't have any science to tell you about, I guess, to prove my point. There are a few people in my life that I've known since the beginning. Like, there's family, right? I have some, distant cousins that I've known for a long time that live nearby. Distant cousins, and they're distantly related, but they're not distanced by proximity. They're close to me. But there's a few people that I went to school with, and I went to the same small school for my entire 12 years that I went to school or something. It wasn't that. I don't know how long I was in school, but there's just a few of them. There's probably, and I have more than most people. I probably have, there's probably 3, maybe not even that. There might be 3 of those people who I've known for a long, long, long time that are still active in my life, as much as they were back then. So, and I've had lucky enough to be able to form those bonds with certain people, but I don't think that we do that so much as a culture. And I think that we have so many different ways of interacting with people that don't require face-to-face interaction, that we just aren't as good at it as maybe we used to be. I don't know. I don't really know how we used to be. But I can say that I do think that it would help if we didn't have all these distractions, and if we were more conscious of how these things affect us, how separating yourself from your family affects you, and if we understand the consequences a little bit more, we wouldn't find that, right? Because I think I don't want to speak for Philip Frey when talking about this, but from the show, what my understanding was that he regretted cutting complete ties with his family. And he wished he didn't do it that way. Like, he wished he had distanced himself in a different way, because sometimes it really is important to get away from certain people. And sometimes it's important to cut off people entirely, right? There's some people that do not deserve your attention at all. But I think that you need to be, if you don't, it's really a big problem if you have those people that aren't good for you. But if you don't have those people that aren't good for you, or if you don't have those, it's a bad thing to have the people, but it's also a bad thing to not have good people. And that's what I've found that, I don't know, I hear a lot of people who are successful say this, is that you should surround yourself with people who are doing what you want to do, or people that inspire you. And that's hard to do if you're stuck in a family who is the same thing. I think my family is a pretty inspiring people personally, but it's not always that way. And it might be the case that you should leave your family, but I think that everybody should have a family. If you're not related by blood, you need a community. And that's what I'm really trying to shoot for with what I'm doing as a life project. I'm trying to build a community, because I look at American culture and I see a lot of issues that we have with each other, just people have with other people. And it's talked about, but not with each other. It's talked about on the news. It's talked about on social media. It's talked about in the echo chambers. It's not an actual, rational, engaged discussion. It's not even empathetic, engaged conversation. And that's what I think you need. You need people to really, I don't know, to really understand what's going on. And if you don't have that, then you're not going to have, it's just not going to work, right? I guess. But, yeah, I guess I just don't see the community aspect that I think could be what, like, I don't know. Because I guess what I'm thinking is there are aspects of community that I really like, aspects of communities, I should say, of specific communities that I'm thinking of that I think are really cool, that I don't see in my own community, that I'd like to incorporate somehow. And that's really hard as an individual to do, and as somebody young, and I don't know how to change a community. I don't know how to change a culture yet, but I'm working on it. And this is the goal for me. Like, the ultimate thing is to build that community that is both resilient in the sense that it can endure struggle together, that it can persevere and thrive in, through difficulty. Because that's what I want for myself, and I just want those people around me. So I want a community that can do that. I want a community that helps each other, that looks out for the interests of other people's in the community, because when we can do that, it is just such a nicer thing. It's just so much, it's such a joy to have somebody like come over and just say, hey, I can help you with this. And it's really fun to do that for other people. It's something that I'd really like to be able to do in the future. And that's what I'm shooting for. Like, part of this podcast, like I want it to be somewhat of a community, or somewhat, but like there's been a few podcasts who I've been a part of their community, if you will, like the School Sucks Project. That has been so helpful for me. People who listen to the School Sucks Project and were in their Facebook group, they have provided me with a lot of input. And same thing with like the Free Market Squad of Nathan Frazier's show. Every podcast really has that community, and that's what makes it, right? It's like it's not me getting up here and putting it out. That's just the catalyst, right? What happens is people find it and you listen, right? You take it and then you take it, and it then becomes part of your knowledge, right? I'm influencing you. I'm teaching you something. You're learning stuff from me, and you're picking up my messages, and they're fitting in your mind somehow. And then from there, right, we create a change through individuals, right? You become the catalyst for other people to make a change. And really the thing is that's what it is. Like, my catalyst was, I've had a few, right? Everybody has a few. There's different things that just introduce new things, and then you react, and then you do it. Because that's the way it works, right? All the things I've come up with have been sitting on the backs of other people, right? My parents, obviously, and that's a big thing about family too, is right? They're the people that came before you to give you what you have now. But you see what I mean? Is we are individuals, but we're so interconnected, and we're not as interconnected as we used to be. And I think that it would be more beneficial if we could be more connected, if we could be more interested in what other people are doing, and be more able to help. At this point, like, I think it's hard, man. It's hard to do this, because like I say I want to do it, and I'm doing little things here to build this community as much as as much as I think I can, but I'm not getting very far, right? I'm doing a little bits here and there, and I'm trying to talk to more of my neighbors. I'm just trying to get out there and just talk to people. That's what it takes, I think. But it's hard, man, to take care of all of what you need to take care of, all of your responsibilities, and then to look at other people. It's insane. And it's just really hard. But if you can put together a team, man, if you can put together several teams that can help you in several aspects of your life, this can be very helpful. Like, just like one of the most beneficial things I do is I have a mastermind group. I have multiple people who occasionally will look at my business, and a lot of we take turns in each of the group. We look at their businesses too. and we analyze a pain point, or something that isn't working, right? And it's amazing what those people will come up with that I'm like, no, duh, that's exactly what I should have done, and I should have known that. Just the thing is, man, no man is an island. That's just what it is. So that's kind of my point today. I hope that you could stick through the rambling and the twists and turns in this story, but that's my point, man, is that no man is an island, and it's best if we can work together. So yeah, how do you do that? Like I said, it is hard. What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to talk to people. That's what this podcast is. It's what doing sales is. It's what it's what it all is, man. It's talking to people. It's doing cool shit and helping people. Talking to folks. Yeah. I don't know. I maybe I have something else to say, I guess. Because I don't know. I just see this as if we can find a way to make all of our relationships win-win, then we have a great world. So you can say that, oh man, that's a utopia and that's impossible, and don't try, I guess. But it's not really even for the utopia that this is. It really is good in and of itself. There's a frog in my fucking room. I'm going to kill this frog. I'm going to find him this time. I'm going to catch him. I'm not going to kill him. I won't kill him, guys. But I will catch him, and I will release him outside where it isn't that cold. So he'll be fine. I hate this frog. He does this all the time whenever I'm on a show. I think he hears my voice and thinks I'm a frog too or something. But my point is yeah, I don't know, guys. Just talk to folks, help people. That's how you do it. That's how you start a community. When you, instead of spending the next 10 minutes on Facebook writing me about how great this episode was, because that's what you're gonna do, right? Go and talk to your neighbor. Go, like, you see him out there snow blowing his lawn, his driveway. Do it for him. Because yeah, I mean, it sucks. You got your own shit to do, and actually, you know what? If you have your own shit to do that first. But I think it's usually best to take care of your own problems before you help other people. But if you have the opportunity to help somebody and it's not going to cost you that much, do it. Just do it, because then you make a relationship. Like, one of my biggest things is I have this fear of bothering people or just talking to people and not having it go well or something. And that has kept me back from so many different possible potential interactions I could have had. If you just let go of the fact that you're shy, you just thought, oh, that's a stupid reason. Like, you shouldn't be shy. Nobody should be shy. That's dumb, right? No offense. I'm shy, right? It's dumb. There's a reason why I'm shy, is because it's a strategy, right? But if we're not using NVC terms, it's stupid. It's something that holds me back from what I want to do. Don't let things hold you back from what you want to do. It's my point. And go talk to people. I got to stop. This is about 30 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you didn't, let me know. No. Yeah, I guess, sure. But yeah, if you'd like to get in contact with me, you can hit me up at yakkinwithnick@gmail.com, or you can go on Facebook and hit me up at Nick Hazelton, I guess. If you don't add me and you don't have mutual friends, or if you add me and you don't have mutual friends and you don't message me, I probably won't add you. So if you add me, just send me a message real quick that says, hey man, I listened to your show. That's it. That's all I need to know, because that's why I know. Like, say whatever else you want. If you want to say I'm a faggot or something, then do it. But one of the worst things I did recently this is a sidetrack story, is I presented to the middle school class at the old school I went to, and I didn't really think about how inappropriate my podcast is, and I didn't play it for them, because I realized before I was going to give the presentation, I was like, oh, I wonder if this teacher knows that all I do is swear. That's not really true, but the show just isn't quite appropriate for him to be able to play it. So I just worry about I don't care if kids listen. I think kids should be able to hear these words, but it is strong language, and I don't think a teacher should be showing it. But anyway, I just thought that was funny. Great tangent, Nick. I'm done, guys. That's it. Thanks for listening. Yeah, hop in the Yakkin with Nick feedback group on Facebook, And I'm thinking about doing some Q&A stuff. So if you have questions that you'd like me to answer, just throw them in the group, and you can ask me to answer them right there if you want, because I'll probably just type an answer if you want. But I'll also do like a separate Q&A show for folks, and particularly you patrons out there. Thanks for supporting me, guys. You guys are the best. I got a new patron, and I got like two new patrons recently, and that's really helpful, guys. I think I'm saving like $15 now, up from 13. So I'm spending $5 a month on this podcast, which is what, $60 a year? Damn, that's not bad. That's not bad at all, guys. So anyway, again, thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a nice day.